Hi everyone, this is Rosemarie from the Unfinished Lesson. Today I'm going to be showing you an app called Planboard. So as it says here, lesson planning made easy. I've been using this app since 2013. Every year it gets better. And a few of the reasons why I use it is it was designed for teachers within the school system. However, it works really well for studio planning. It syncs between devices, so while I do my planning on my computer, when I'm in lesson and I have my iPad, I just pull up the Planboard app and all of my lessons are automatically there. And the last thing is that the customer service is amazing. Anytime that I've had a question, the Chalk team, they have multiple apps, Planboard is one of them, but the Chalk team has been amazing in terms of helping me figure things out or even taking suggestions on how to improve the app. So in terms of using it, you just log in, and here I have a day from earlier in the week, and it would just have your lessons plans up. But if you're just starting out, you can add your semesters and subjects. So for myself, I have a 10-month semester. That's how I have chosen to run the studio. And I can add in all of my dates there. In terms of subjects, you can divide your subjects however you want. For myself, I've done it by levels and method, and then within each of those, I've set up my student names. And so you can just click the plus button, and it comes up with the student names. You can also add standards and expectations, or sometimes these are called learner outcomes. So for example, if I wanted to add them in, I could just type in Alberta Music, that's the province I'm in, and people have uploaded the program of studies, the learner outcomes from them for grades 1 through 6. And I could just click on any of them, and then they're really easy for me to add to the lesson plans. It's not something I need for my studio, but if you do work for a school system, it's a nice, handy thing to have. Once you have your subjects and your sections, then you just make a timetable for yourself. So for example, I like that you can set whatever times you want. So I'm inserting a class, I can pick whatever student name I want, and I hit a start time and an end time. Your days, now I only teach 3 days, but the other advantage of Planboard is that it's a Sunday through Saturday rotation. You choose what days you're teaching and what days you're not teaching. So it's really flexible in terms of that. And so you can set different times for different students. So I have some students that prefer to take 45-minute private lessons, and then I have some students that have lab time programming. So they're with me for 30 minutes, and then they do lab time for 30 minutes. In terms of scheduling also, they have it from 12 a.m. straight through to 11 p.m. So whatever hours you're teaching, it's very easy to insert your classes. Over here we have semester settings, and so I've entered in my semester name, the start date, the end date, and then I've added holidays. So down here, when I click on holidays, if you live in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, or New Zealand, they already have the federal holidays listed. And so just to make your life a little easier, you can add them in. I've already added them in, but it's very easy to add an off day. So for example, winter vacation. When my kids were on vacation, then I was on vacation, and I was able to enter in those days with a start date and an end date. And so again, very user-friendly. You just click off day, write down the reason, start date and end date, and then add. And it will include it within your semester. So in terms of setting it up, that's a little bit of an overview. The Planboard is what I use all the time. I use it every day that I teach, and then also on my prep days. So, okay, we'll go with the 28th, which is next week. I actually transfer this student over his stuff. So here, normally is the lesson plan name. I use this area to include important information for a student. We have a practice challenge where they need to send me a video clip showing that they are actually following a practice instruction. The hope being that they will actually follow the practice instructions. Some students it works, some students it doesn't. So you can just click to edit, and they give you lots of options. You can insert images, which is great for if you have Joy Morin's notes and rests and music symbols from her site. I will include a link to that. Then you can create rhythms for your students if they're just starting to learn a song. You can add video. I don't, because I send these off as PDFs, but if you were doing it within lesson time, then that would work really well. You can insert tables, which is actually what I did to create the practice pages for the students. I created templates that had this sort of format, and this is a modification of Leila Viss's practice pages that she uses with her students. And then you can also include links, as well as other ways of formatting the information. You can upload files from your computer as well as Google Drive. This is great if you're wanting to have a student print off sheet music or something else, and you don't want to have to carry it with you. And then templates, you can choose as many templates or create as many templates as you want. I have ones for group lessons, preschoolers, and then my regular students. The two things that I use the most often are options. So within lesson, I print, or I don't print, but I send the PDFs. So so this is my lesson plan as well as the practice page for the student. Within lesson, I make changes as needed. And so as we go through things, I just change things up so that it suits what they're doing at that particular time. So print PDF, on the computer, it gives you more options, but on the iPad, it opens in Safari, and then it has the little button up at the top that you press to be able to email it or text it. And so it comes up in Safari, and then I just email it to the parents at the end of lesson. It takes about 3 seconds, which is really nice. And they get a nice professional looking practice page with the date, with my name, and the nice big note at the top, including the student name. So even though I might be teaching siblings, multiple siblings within the same family, it's really easy for them to keep track of everything. And so the parents just print that and put it in their binders. Or the students print them and put them in their binders, depending on their age. So you can shift lessons, you can move lessons, but I often copy lessons. So what I can do, so I can select a date and then move the lesson plan / practice page to whatever day I want, and also multiple students. So this is nice if you have group lessons and want to send to more than one student. So I could select 2 students on this day, I can select a student on my Wednesday, and then on my Thursday I could even do a student. So I'm sending it to 4 students, exactly the same thing. All my lessons are individualized, so I'm not going to worry about doing that, but it is a really handy feature to have. The last thing I'm going to show you is this little yellow box here. So it's called the sticky note. It's nice and handy for when you want to remember something. So it appears at the top of the page on the iPad app. So I just quickly glance at it before I leave the house. If I need to remember to bring a book for students, or next week I've got students that are starting to have birthdays and I will need to remember to bring birthday chocolate for them, then that's where I'm going to write it down. And it's nice and handy to just have quick reminders of things that you need to remember for that particular day. And it automatically saves them for you. This is a really quick overview of Planboard. If it's tweaked your interest, I would definitely recommend checking it out, www.planboardapp.com. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I just love the app, and I hope that it might make your life a little bit easier as well. Have a great weekend.